Today I'm going to be talking about very smart people. As you guys know, I am a very smart person myself. I have like a 4.9 GPA or something like that. Something like that. I don't really know. But today we're going to be talking about the smartest fighters with the highest IQ. Now, this isn't just the best fighters. I'm not going to be talking about, because honestly, you could probably just go every champion, right? You probably go every champion, but I'm going by only by IQ, by how they prepare for the fights, their game plan, how they can stick to their game plan, all of that. One every division. Let's get into it. For the flyweight division, I'm going with Loner Kavanaugh. I know this is kind of like a recency pick. I think he only has like 3 or 4 fights in the UFC, but with the fights that he's had, his last fight especially, he took it on, I think, like a week's notice against Brandon Moreno. He just completely just outskilled Moreno. Now, but it wasn't only a skill thing. I feel like genuinely his game plan was just a lot better, which, I mean, to be honest, they both kind of took it on short notice, right? Even though Moreno was preparing for that day, to fight on that day. His game plan was just a lot better, bro. He would, go on the outside and he would defend the grappling, all of that. Moreno had to result to try to like clinch a grapple against him. He was trying to smudge him to get the win. But Loner, he's just too skilled. And even the fight before that, I know he lost to Charles Johnson. But bro, if you look before he got knocked out, he was piecing him up. He was on the outside, dancing out range, and it's crazy because he's only like 5'4". So against Charles Johnson, who's like what, 5'7", 5'8", or something like that, who's like a taller flyweight, Charles Johnson should be the one at range, leg kicking, and he should have the advantage. But Loner Kavanaugh makes it look so easy. He's so skilled and he's so smart. The only thing you can say that he maybe is not the smartest is he did get overconfident in that fight. He put his hands down on the way back and he got clipped. You know what I mean? But in the Moreno fight, we saw none of that. His counter striking was so good, and it's just his game plan was just so good. Man, it's just so good. I can't wait to see this guy fight next. I'm hearing him versus Tyra. A lot of people are saying that's the next fight to make. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. But nah, that's the flyweight division. Not a lot of options for the division, but I just went with Loner. Moving on to the bantamweight division. This one's kind of a troll because beakers and test tubes, Corey Sandhagen. Yo, I mean, this is kind of a meme in the MMA community. Beakers and test tubes. He doesn't actually win the fights, but he fights. He fights smart, but he doesn't actually win them. Nah, I'm playing. But bro, it's genuinely his game plan against pretty much everyone he's fought. Even the Rob Font fight. Rob Font really good on the feet. He just took him down for 5 rounds. Smart. The Umar fight, he defended the takedowns beautifully. I wish, obviously he could have done more on the feet. But that was a really close fight, one of the closest fights of Umar's career. What other fight? The Yan fight, I'm pretty sure he took that on short notice. It was a pretty close fight. He was doing really good in that fight. And then obviously his last fight against Marab, he fought really good, bro. He was defending all the takedowns. His game plan was very good. Stick on the outside, stick him. His striking looked very clean. It's just, when you fight Marab, you kind of have to be like that guy. I'm sorry, but Peter Yan, he's that guy, if you know what I mean. Corey Sandhagen, he was putting his hands down, defend the takedowns. It's smart, but he did get caught. So yeah, but definitely the smartest fighter in this division. He has a whole YouTube channel of him just breaking down techniques and all of that stuff, and the game plans, all of that. So yeah, actually no, I don't even think it's on YouTube. I think it's on OF, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. I'm not subscribed, but if you guys want to see, the ins and outs of his body, of his mind. All right, let me just move on. That was awkward. I'm edit that out. Moving on to the featherweight division, I'm gonna have to go with the champ. This one, I usually don't go with the champs. Like, I try not to. I try to go with like a contender or just someone in the rankings. But like, he's arguably the smartest fighter in the UFC. Alexander Volkanovski. Like, come on, other than him just kind of his defense maybe not be the greatest. Like, when he backs up, he kind of puts his hands down and his chin is up. So that's not the greatest. But, brother, you can see every single one of his fights. And you could literally, bro, his game planning and just, that's the thing. Everyone has a game plan, but he sticks to it so well. Where it's like the first Islam fight, defending all the takedowns, doing well on the feet. And then, bro, the Yair Rodriguez fight. A lot of people was picking Yair Rodriguez because, Volkanovski, he's a striker. He likes to strike. But no, he put his ego aside and he was taking him down and the ground and pound. And then, bro, that one left hook he landed on Yair was perfect. Like, you can tell he game planned for that for like months. You can tell that left hook he landed on Yair, beautiful. Islam and Ilya, those are just tough matchups for him. Let's be real. Ilya, especially, that's just a really tough matchup for him. And then Islam, the best fighter in the UFC, you have to be on your A game. You can't, you can't. The only thing I would say Volkanovski is maybe not the smartest is because he took the Islam fight, the second one, on short notice. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, other than that, bro, the smartest UFC fighter. He beat Diego Lopez at range, who's really dangerous and has a lot of power. He was circling beautifully, the leg kicks, all that. Just a great fighter, and even smarter. Bro, he's just so smart. He's so smart, man. Almost as smart as me. But now, I'm moving on to the lightweight division. Honestly, I could have put Ilya, but again, I'm not trying to do the champions. I just don't want to do that. So I went with a newcomer, Quillen Salakiel. Now, hear me out. I know he just got into the rankings. He hasn't fought anyone like really good yet. Even though Beneil's not bad. He's not too bad. But it's just he's so well rounded and he uses all his skills so well. Like in his last fight against Beneil, he was trying to take him down, right? He was trying to take him down. Obviously, Beneil's gonna stop that. Like, he's one of the best grapplers in the UFC. So guess what? He just resorted to just brawling. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You can tell, he was trying to do the takedown, but he's like, nah, I'm just knocking him out. You know what I mean? But that's what you have to do against a guy like Beneil, who his chin's not the greatest, and maybe in the brawling situation, she's just not good. You know what I mean? So yeah, that fight especially, even I forgot the name. I think the name was Yanel Eshmouj or something like that. Even though he just came off a knockout against Anshul Jubilee, bro, he was mixing it up. The other guy, he was pretty big and powerful himself, so he was grappling. He was taking him down. He was, trying to go for the submission while still kind of being like striking on the feet. Just the way he mixes it up. The Nasra hack press fight, he took it on short notice, knocked him out. The head kick, it was there. And bro, that's the thing. He has such a good game plan every single time he fights, and he fights so he's so active as well. So it's just like, bro, he's just built to fight. That's him. He's built to fight. Apparently, his parents own a bakery, a bakery. So I don't know what that means. Maybe I don't know. I don't know why I even brought that up. But nah, Quillen, definitely one of the smartest fighters in the USC. In my opinion, I feel we need to see more. Because that's the thing. He called a Gamera. I want to see how he fights with Gamera. I want to see, what type of game plan he has. Maybe, he brawls in there. I don't know. But definitely the smartest fighter in this division. Maybe not definitely, but I mean, there's not a lot of. You could go with Arman. You could go Oliveira. You could go with Ilya. You can go with Gamera, maybe. I don't know. But I went with Quillen. He's a newcomer. I want to talk about him. So yeah. Moving on though to the welterweight division. Yeah, come on. I think other than Volkanovski, these two are 1 and 2 for the smartest UFC fighters. They're just 1 and 2. If John Jones is not active, they're 1 and 2. Islam, his game plan to beat JDM. He was the first guy to beat JDM in JDM was on. He was on like an 18 fight win streak, wasn't he? The way he game planned in there, even on the feet, the leg kicks and the clinch knees and all that. And then obviously the takedown, he's so quick with it, and he's so smart with his entries, where it's like JDM can never settle in the fight. He can never get into his groove. Prates kind of did the same thing, but I feel like it's more impressive for Islam just because, bro, he was mixing it up beautifully, man. On the feet, on the grappling. He couldn't get the sub, but if the sub is not there, it's not. That's the thing. JDM was not trying to get up, right? So the sub's not going to be there. He's just on his back. You can't really. It's hard to sub a guy when he's not trying to get up or he has no, you know what I mean? It's tough to do that. But Islam, even other than JDM fight, Moicano fight, just did it like this. The Poirier fight on the feet, that was probably his most difficult fight, right? I mean, obviously, other than the Volkanovski fight, but that's the thing. His game plan in the 5th round, especially, where, it's kind of close, the feet, they're both landing some good strikes. He has a cut on his eye, all that. He still sticks to the game plan. He takes him down with a new takedown that he hasn't done the whole fight, and then he subs him, bro. Genuinely one of the greatest fighters of all time, and I think one of the smartest fighters of all time. I think him, GSP, and John Jones are like, and Volkanovski, and DJ are definitely top five, right? With the order you want to put them in, whatever, but they're definitely top five. Just so smart, man. He's fighting Ian Gary next. I wonder what type of game plan he'll use for that fight. Maybe grappling, probably grappling for being real. Moving on though to the middleweight division. This one's a little weird. I'm with Dricus. I know he lost the belt. You know, it's a Hamza, couldn't stuff a takedown for his life. But that's just one aspect in his game that he's not good at. I feel like okay, but now I'm kind of rethinking because he had a whole training camp just to defend the takedowns, and obviously Hamza was gonna take him down. But Hamza at middleweight, if we're being real, he probably thought Hamza is not the best at, his cardio is not the best. He can take me down for 2 rounds. But after he probably thought that, which I mean, it's a pretty good realization. That's not a dumb thing to think of. That's pretty smart if I'm being real. I would have probably thought the same thing. Actually, no, I would have. I 5.8 GPA. But now Dricus in his fights before that, let's just forget about the Hamza fight. The Strickland fights, he was mixing it up beautifully, and even on the feet, keeping that range. Bro, he outstruck Strickland for 5 rounds. Crazy. No one really be doing that with Strickland. I don't know what type of injury Strickland was dealing with. If I'm being real, he just did not look like himself. But even the first fight, he was mixing it up, landing some good shots. He knew that Strickland was a better striker. So guess what? Sometimes you just got to go in there and just throw. That's all you got to do. You just got to throw sometimes. And that's what he did. That's what he did. He probably has the most heart in the UFC. And then obviously the Izzy fight, kind of getting picked up. Pretty competitive on the feet. But obviously, he has a clear grappling advantage. Took him down, got on the back, submitted him. Yeah, what can I say, bro? I feel people are forgetting how good Dricus du Plessis is, and I feel like we're going to see him soon. I don't know if it's against Baralho. I really want that fight. If it's against Allen after his next fight, I don't know who, but I know Dricus. Yeah, I feel he's going to win his next fight, in my opinion. One of the smarter fighters in the division. Moving on though, light heavyweight, I'm not gonna lie, there are like 0 good options. I was looking at this division for like 20 minutes. Like 5 minutes. But I just ended up with Magomed Ankalaev, even though his last fight was like 30 seconds long, he got knocked out. Pretty not that smart to, go on the feet with Alex Pereira, if I'm being real. But can you really blame him? Like the first fight, he was pretty much on the feet the whole fight. Couldn't take him down. And then Pereira just realized that, his grappling isn't the greatest. Like Magomed Ankalaev, his grappling is he's not as good as, the other Russian fighters, if we're being real. I know he has the EV at the end of his name, but his grappling just does not match that. You know what I mean? So Pereira in the second fight, he just came in there, he just came to knock him out. That's all. You know what I mean? But I went with Magomed just because he do be mixing it up, right? Against Jan Blachowicz, that was a very competitive fight. It was a draw, I'm pretty sure. But let's be honest, Magomed did win that fight with the takedowns, and other than the leg kicks for Jan Blachowicz, Magomed clearly won that fight, even on the, you know what I mean, with the takedowns and the strike and all that. But I just feel like his striking ability, obviously we know the grappling is kind of there, right? He is one of the better grapplers in this division. Honestly, probably the best grappler in the division. There's not really any good grappler in light heavyweight, I'm not gonna lie. But his striking, his patience, his counter ability, I feel like he's so calm in there. Other than his last fight, where it's like against Johnny Walker, he's so sporadic and you don't really know who he's gonna bring. Spinning wheel kicks and all that. He was just very patient and he just found a shot. And that's smart, bro. That's game plan. That's game planning. I really want to see who he fights next. I think he should fight maybe Paulo Costa. I don't mind that fight. But definitely one of the smarter fighters in this division. I really don't know who else I could have went with. Like, really, if you look at the top 15, it's just buns. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, should we look at it? Like, let me look at it. Let me look at this top 15. Like, brother. Alex Pereira, not the division. Yuri, I wouldn't say so. Jan, maybe. Khalil, no. Jamal, no. Costa, maybe. Like, that's the thing. It's just, I don't know. I don't really know who else I could have went with. But for the heavyweight division, the last division, I went with Volkov. He is coming off a win. Maybe this is a bit of a recency bias, but he's very smart in there. Like, he took a grappling approach to Cyril Gane. I think he won that fight. Most of us do. Cyril Gane really couldn't set his feet down and really, strike like how he usually does and how he wants to. But even this Volkov fight, just bro, sometimes I know it's heavyweight. I know you want to see knockouts, but the fact that he doesn't mind circling around that range and leg kicks and body kicks and you know what I mean, with occasionally punching. That's smart. Let's be real. Even though he did the same thing to Sergey Pavlovich, probably even worse. Sergey Pavlovich was all bloodied up after that fight. I don't really remember that fight too well, but I know he pretty much just outstruck him at range, similar to like he did to Waldo. And yeah, over the years, he's definitely smarter, a lot smarter than he used to be. I'm just keep it real. But even the Tai Tuivasa fight, I know actually, I probably shouldn't even say it's not impressive to beat Tai Tuivasa, but he did submit him. He took him down, submitted him. Boom. He had, I think it was how do you remember this? I think it was like a crucifix. I don't really remember. But listen, out of everyone in this division, I think Volkov. I think this is the most clear one of the video. He's definitely like he uses his brain in there, which I like. So yeah, that is the video. If you guys like, please like, subscribe, all that, and I'll see you next time. My hair is so cooked.